The assumed figure is 1% of the population. So if you look at the census figures, it would be, in the mid 40,000s that you'd expect to have celiac disease in Ireland. We estimate that probably there's 1 in 8 people diagnosed approximately, but we really don't know. We asked for a strategy for celiac disease to be supported by the Department of Health. We asked for a celiac disease register to be considered, supported by the Department of Health, but we didn't get anywhere with that so far. We had discussions with the Irish College of General Practitioners, and there's a member of the ICGP, a doctor in Cork, who has written guidelines for GPs, which has been co-authored by Fergus Shanahan from the University College in Cork, and was first published by the ICGP in September 2015, circulated to all members of the Irish College of General Practitioners, and that guideline document has just been updated. It's in a draft form, but the updated version should be published later this year and circulated again to all members of the Irish College of General Practitioners. The issue is, are they going to read it, are they going to abide by it, and are they going to implement the recommendations? And not all recommendations that are issued for doctors are read or implemented. To diagnose it properly, you need to have a gastroscopy and duodenal biopsies, which needs to be done in a hospital in a gastroenterology unit. And there have been intermittent problems with supply. In other words, some children have had to wait for unreasonably long lengths of time for an endoscopy, and it's patchy around the country how fast endoscopies are available. It has improved, but it's not up to what it needs to be everywhere in the country. And then the next stage is, whenever you have diagnosed it, you need to have access to dietetic support in the hospital initially, which not all members of the Coeliac Society have ever seen a dietitian, because they haven't been referred, or because the service they've been attending hasn't got access to adequate dietetic support. And in many hospitals, after the diagnosis has been made, the patient is seen once to give them the diagnosis, and then they're discharged to the GP. And the GP doesn't have access to dietetics or necessarily the knowledge on how to properly advise people with celiac disease on how to deal with the gluten-free diet. And this is where the Coeliac Society has a role, and even that needs to be promoted amongst GPs. Today, there were several people who were concerned about children that they thought might have celiac disease, or members of their family who have recently been diagnosed and were still having problems with their diet or their symptoms. And those kind of recurrent questions are indicative of the fact that many people don't get the answers they need from their general practice, their practice nurse, the consultant who's involved in looking after their child or their relative, which is disappointing and leads to the conclusion that there needs to be better awareness and better information flow from the health services. Really, it does get down to going to a GP. And if you have a family member with celiac disease or a family member with another autoimmune condition, and you have gastrointestinal symptoms that suggest wheat intolerance or gluten intolerance, your chances are higher of having celiac disease. So there are clues from family history as well as personal experience that should heighten your